everyone, my name is Parker. I had the opportunity to take Professor Sharon's class last semester, and I will be talking about cholesterol and lies in my presentation today. I'll be going over some of the anatomy and physiology of cholesterol. I'll go over a few of the lies that the food industry has been telling you, and then just kind of a few tactics, a few easy ones on how to combat that pretty much. Let me go to the next slide. So, quick little overview. We all know that food companies lie to you. Like, that's common knowledge, right? You don't need a source to say that. What are some of the lies they say? Two of the lies that I'll be going over is about good cholesterol and bad cholesterol and the misinformation on that. And then just a little something on the side about another marketing tactic, alkaline water. And then finally, I'll finish up with how to combat those lies and, just how do you get your brain fired. And so these aren't like, things that you have to do, you must do this. Okay, next slide. This is more of a consider the following, type of presentation. It's like an informational type. Next slide, please. Perfect. So, remember, people will lie to you about anything for profit, even if it's about your health. You have to remember, people don't care. The only one who looks out for your health is you. And, well, maybe your nutrition teacher, but the only one is yourself. So, this is just kind of like, oh, by the way, look out for this. So first, I'll quickly go over alkaline water. So some of y'all may have seen this water before at Safeway and stuff, alkaline 9.5. You drink it, and yeah, it'll turn it'll make your blood pH drop a little bit. But your blood also has something in it called sodium bicarbonate, or baking soda, you may have heard of. And now you may have seen this in chem lab. In the safety protocol video, you knock something over, and your professor says, oh, put some sodium bicarb on there. What does it do? Sodium bicarb is a pH balancer. It brings the pH back to 7. Well, your blood has sodium bicarbonate in it. So when the pH goes down, the sodium bicarb kicks in, and the pH immediately comes right back to 7. So there is no, this thing about changing your pH, about the blood and everything, it is a complete lie. Next slide, please. Perfect. So first, before I can talk about cholesterol and the rumors about it, we have to talk about what it is. So first, kind of like anything, like water, like salt, cholesterol is good for you, but in very high amounts is not good for you. Your body uses it in the phospholipid bilayer. You may have also heard of something called sterol. It's kind of what makes the phospholipid bilayer have that gel-like fluidity. That's due to cholesterol. Vitamin D is also, cholesterol is needed for the synthesis of that. And for certain steroid hormones, cholesterol is needed the synthesis for. And it's naturally made in your body. Your liver makes it. And it is the backbone of stomach bile. I get to the next slide. And so as you'll see in the phospholipid bilayer, you have the phospholipids, and bi, because it's 2 layers, there's channel proteins and carbohydrates, and oh, here we are right here. Here is cholesterol. And so it is just to prove that yes, it is used in the phospholipid bilayer. Next slide. And so next, we'll get to kind of like the beginning of the lie that they tell you. And it comes in how cholesterol is transported in the body. So first, the first thing let's talk about is a chylomicron, and I'll go over images about this on the next slide. So chylomicron takes the dietary lipids and the cholesterol from the intestines to the muscles and the adipose tissue. So this is basically the big clumped up ball of everything, and gets sent down the bloodstream to the muscles and everything. Next, we have VLDL. That carries triglycerides from the liver to the muscle and the adipose tissue. So VLDL is also something that takes stuff out of the liver. Next, we have LDL, which comes from VLDL. And this is what carries the cholesterol to all the cells in your body. I'll put it in that phospholipid bilayer, which is the edge of the cell that I was talking about earlier. And then the last one is HDL. And oh, by the way, DL stands for density lipoprotein, low and high. HDL picks up the cholesterol from all your cells, the excess once it's done, left over, and returns it to the liver. And so basically, chylomicron takes it all out, and then you have the HDL, or the LDL, which takes the cholesterol from the liver to the cells, and then the HDL comes out and returns it back. Pretty much like this. So this big one is the chylomicron. As you can see, it's mainly, I like this diagram the best because it also is pretty accurate to what the composition of it is. But as you can see, this side is mainly more involved in the phospholipids, and this is more of the proteins and triglycerides. Next, we go to the next slide. So, what is the lie that they're saying? We finally get, through this whole waterboard of an explanation down to what they are saying. What is the lies that they are saying about today? And so, basically, the claims that certain people have made is that there is a good and there is a bad cholesterol. They mainly associate good cholesterol with the HDL, and bad cholesterol is LDL. And so now, after I have just given you a mini spiel about cholesterol transport, you know why it's a lie, because it's not. HDL is good, but there's no such thing as like a good cholesterol or a bad cholesterol. You can't have good cholesterol. You can have. They're saying that like this is the it's like they're saying that HDL is like the answer, but it's like just part of the transport, like it's part of the loop. And so yeah, there is no way to get just good cholesterol. Well, I mean, you could like extract it from someone, and then that's how you could get just HDL, but there's no good way. Next. All right, perfect. And then so now we can get to ways to combat all these lies that the food company has told you. So, first one, make sure the source is unbiased. You are, make sure that if you're getting this from online, make sure this is like a .gov or a .org website. Usually .com means that it's a commercial, means that it's trying to sell you something. And usually they'll have, coincidentally, studies proving how great their product is. Which also brings me to my next point. Make sure the people doing the experiment are unbiased. What a lot of times happens is these companies will do experiments with scientists on their payroll, and they'll just magically happen to find all these great things about the product. And you have to stop and think, did they really find these great things, or is it because the payroll that they're on led them to find these great things? The last thing is make sure the credentials match the claim. This is just, just make sure the person who's giving you a lecture about whatever the topic is that, they know what they're talking about. You wouldn't want, like, for example, a heart surgeon talking to you about how to lose weight. Or, you wouldn't want, like, a non-health major talking to you about healthy foods and stuff like that. So just make sure that, the credentials match what they're talking about. A little bit of a joke there. And now, Sophia.
Okay, so I just wanted to relate it to something that we see in the news a lot, which is seed oils. And like a very common claim is that seed oils are high in, bad fats, and so they raise your cholesterol, and they increase rates of like chronic diseases like obesity and diabetes. So what are seed oils? They're a type of vegetable oil that is extracted from plant seeds. The 8 commonly targeted oils are canola, corn, cottonseed, grapeseed, soybean, sunflower, safflower, and rice bran. And then the alternatives that they say you can use for seed oils are fruit oils like olive and avocado oil. But these oils are often more expensive because of the process to make them, and they're also prone to smoking at high heat. So seed oils have a higher burning point, so you can use a lot more heat on them than the fruit oils, which is also why they're used in a lot of processed foods, which actually is part of the reason that people can associate them with an unhealthy diet, because there's seed oils in processed foods, but these processed foods are also high in like sugar, carbs, and sodium. So you're gonna eat, like when you're eating these processed foods, they're like, oh, they're high in seed oils. That's what's making your diet bad, but it's actually other nutrients. And seed oils actually contain high levels of omega-6 fatty acids, which are a polyunsaturated fat that can actually help the body reduce LDL cholesterol, which can lower risk of heart disease and stroke. Of course, this is in moderation, like the correct amount of omega-6 fatty acids. If you eat too much, I think it might have the opposite effect, like it can increase risk of cardiovascular diseases and stuff. But and there's also seed oils that are high in omega-3 fatty acids, like chia seed oil and flaxseed, I think, oil. But seed oils are not bad for you, but they're, some popular political figures say that they're bad for you, and I think they're associated with saturated fat too for some reason, but it's just because a lot of people aren't aware of the differences and the nuance of it. But yeah, all in moderation, and it's all about the context of the diet too. So and there's a credible study that if you replace butter and coconut oil in your diet with seed oils, it reduces heart disease and stroke. So it can actually be really helpful because those are really high in saturated fats, and if you substitute it with seed oils, it's really helpful.